Hello Hello，有听到我讲话吗？Hello Hello，有听到我讲话吗？OK，今天我要跟大家分享的是什么东西呢？Now today what I'm going to share with you is about the what we call that US market and the Singapore markets. So US market and the Singapore markets right now, okay, especially Singapore markets，美国这个新加坡股票哈，其实是如果你看的话哈，它5年来哈创新高 ，alright。So if you take a look, what we call that, Singapore markets actually very very strong. OK，新加坡股市哈很强势，很强势。Alright， 所以为什么会这样？为什么会这样？OK，if you compare with other markets like Asia markets, especially Hong Kong's, Malaysia, okay, Singapore actually performed the best. Now, first thing first, why Singapore market performed the best? Okay, let me share this with you, especially with my, what we call that, my view lah. All right. So first thing first, because when the market is so uncertain, okay, when market is so uncertain, all right. So most of the investors, especially the fund managers who are looking for a stable incomes investment, usually they will come to Singapore markets. And beside that, Singapore currency also very strong, okay, and at the same time, okay, the US dollar is depreciating, okay. So I believe that some of these fund managers, even market makers, previously who are holding on to this US dollar, they may actually convert some of their USD into the Sing dollars, because Sing dollars currently is still the strongest Sing currency. So after they converting their USD to Sing dollar, of course they are not going to put the money inside the what we call that the saving account. So they are actually put the money where? They put the money into the Singapore stocks. So that could be the reason, okay, the Singapore stock market is moving up, okay. And of course there are many factors, which I believe another factor is Lawrence Wong effect, okay, which is the new prime minister of Singapore, that have just what we call that, take over, okay, from the previous prime minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. So maybe because of this Lawrence Wong effect, it have these what we call that, benefits of these Singapore stock markets. And of course the other thing which I think everyone know, the stability of the government in Singapore, and then followed by the strong economics of Singapore. So these are the factors that actually help, okay, to push out the STI index. All right. So if you look at the XTI index, actually, it actually break through the previous high, which is 3,500 point. 3,500 point. All right. So 3,500 point. Okay. If you look at the what we call that, the chart, right? In fact, the price has been continually move up from 3,400 point to as high as this what we call that, 3,560 point. All right. So the next thing, okay, many people ask, 很多人就会问，接下来的话，股市会不会这个回调，或者是一个 corrections？ OK， 会不会回调，或者是一个 correction？ 这样的话，等一下我们会看这个美国这个美联储接下来这个9月18号他们将会就是透露是否会把这个利率降低。I mean general what we call that information has shown that Federal Reserve is going to what we call that reduce the rates. So the key question is that how many point are they going to reduce? Is it 25 point or 50 point about the interest rate cut? 所以我觉得下个星期非常重要 okay that will actually impact the stock markets. Alright, so if you ask me, okay, what is my view of this STI index? I think it will most likely also depends on this Federal Reserve, okay, rate cut. So what beside this, the factor that I shared with you, okay, and of course, the three top Singapore bank actually contributing the most, okay, that help to push up the STI index. Namely, if you look at the DBS stocks, all right, if you look at the DBS stocks, okay, so DBS, in fact, it moved quite similar as compared to STI index, all right. 所以如果是这个新加坡银行股票涨的话，这个海指也是会跟着涨。所以如果你看其实接下来的话，很明显这个新加坡银行非常强势，而且它也是创新高 ，OK， 也是创新高。所以很多人其实都是在问我Mr. Gan， 为什么美联储会降息但是这个新加坡的银行会是一直涨呢？所以很多人 confuse， 你知道吗 ？OK， 为什么呢？因为你看美国的股票其实是在跌幅的，反而新加坡的这个新加坡的股票尤其是这个银行都是在涨了，所以很多人在 confuse。所以我的意思是说，你不可以跟这个美国银行跟这个新加坡银行的股票来比，他们完全是不一样的这个我觉得不一样的状况。Alright， so 首先新加坡银行是全世界最强的公司，而且最近的报道也是有显示说，他们对这个利率降低is less sensitive. Alright, so there was a reporting mentions that Singapore bank has less sensitivity as compared to this interest rate cut. So this first thing. Alright, another thing is that of course the balance sheet of the Singapore bank is very strong. Reason is because they have a very what we call that rules and a very strict law, okay, to actually support these Singapore banks. And of course, if you read MAS web page, alright, so DBS Bank, Singapore Bank is under the control of this MAS as well, alright. So of course, with that reason, right, okay, global investor, of course, Singaporean investor, they like to invest in these Singapore banks because of the stability and with very attractive dividend yield. So of course the recent earning also, the profit is quite impressive, and with that reason the global investor, I believe, as of course, and then followed by Singapore investor, are likely to continue to invest in the Singapore bank. So that's why the Singapore bank is very very strong right now. Okay, so there's no sign of any selling yet. Okay, if you look at the price, it has just recently breakthrough what we call that, the previous high resistance. If there's no any bad news, of course the price will continue to go up 啦。所以在这样的情况之下，你可以看到它是非常强势。图表来看的话， 而且最近这2天它的股价也是突破之前的这个之前的高点，所以这样的情况之下其实对这个新加坡的股市来说是非常强势的。当然除了这个DBS当然 OCBC it also very strong. OCBC Bank, alright. So OCBC Bank also recently break through the resistance $14.88. So $14.88, alright. And the support level is of course $14.88. And what I mean is that based on this down arrow, in case, alright, if you wish to buy, alright, or if you are looking for an entry point, alright, usually when the price went up already, I will not chase, but my suggestion is that you might want to look at the chart, and then wait for the pullback. So that's why I put the down arrow there. So the down arrow actually pointing toward this support level of $14.88 might be what we call that an entry point in the event that the price actually drop or pull back. So right now of course the price is still very strong. There's no sign of selling down, so I believe everyone is looking forward for this next week Federal Reserve 18 September, whether are they going to cut 25 point or 50 point. So there is a crucial events that everyone are looking for. Alright, so of course beside Singapore Bank, REITs also benefits for this interest rate cut. And if you look at some of the REITs that I has been talking about, like Keppel DC, one of my favorite. So I've been sharing this with my friends and client and colleague about these stocks. So if you look at the bigger pictures, alright, if you look at the bigger picture, so previously it was having a quite a big drop, alright. Reason is because that the interest rate was pretty high previously, last 2 years, so that's why the price of REITs was affected, if the interest rate is high. But until recently, we actually noticed that when the Federal Reserve announced, especially last year, November, if you still remember, the Federal Reserve announced that they are going to reduce the rates if if the US inflation is under control. So after the news pop up, then we have seen the Singapore REITs begin to pick up, and that is when the stock chart that I show you, alright, every time when it pull back touches the support level of this blue color line is quite a nice entry point. So and this what we call that, the entry point, every time when it touches the support level, right, it has high chance to rebound. So the recent one, which is the April periods, where the price touches again the support level of this blue color line, the price begin to rebound. And for this time, because the chances of the US cutting rate is pretty high, and therefore the REITs continue to increase. So this is one of them. But of course, if you look at the price, also quite high already. Alright, so will the price pull back? Nobody know. But if you ask me personally, it's just a matter of time when when a particular assets it's going too high, okay, in short term it might pull back. So similarly for a stock, I believe any stock, when the stock price has been going up for too high, too much, okay, eventually it may, pull back. It may have, corrections. I believe it's just a matter of time. All right. So usually my suggestion is that we don't buy when the price is already shoot up. So we wait for the price to pull back. Okay. So we wait for the price to pull back. But right now there's no sign of pulling back. Okay. So maybe one of the way you might want to consider, all right, to use price actions, and then to identify when is the pullback, and then from there you might want to consider, all right, to identify the entry point when the price pull back and touches this blue color trend line. All right, but so far you can see that the price has just break above the resistance. Okay, so I think we need to wait for a couple of days before the price is actually pull back, and then from there you can apply this strategy called a swing trade strategy. Or another strategy that we are using is our what we call that NU system, okay, which I has been using it for the past 10 years and I'm still using it. So this NDU system, all right, currently the what we call that, the trend is still uptrend, and when the trend is uptrend and the trend is still healthy, the candlestick it's still blue color. And if you look at the bottom of the chart, right, okay, the smart money show that the market maker are still inside these stocks. Okay, they have not exit the stock yet. Okay, so these are the the system that I am using. All right, usually for beginners. Okay, if beginners usually they rely on their eyes, okay, to look for opportunity. But usually human being, we have limitations. We might miss out. Okay, all right, if there are too many things, so we need to rely on the system, all right, to what we call that, to look for these opportunities. Okay, like the blue color line, okay, blue color arrow. So far the price is still pretty strong. And then another one that reached that that most of the Singaporean like is Ascendas REITs. Okay, Ascendas. Okay, give me minutes. All right. So there are many REITs, okay, in Singapore has gone up quite a fair bit. All right, because Singapore is Singapore stock markets, especially investors who are looking for a dividend yield. I would say that Singapore stocks dividend yield is the most attractive as compared to other stock markets. So there are many REITs in fact listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange, but of course not every REIT is a good REIT. So that's why you need to have some knowledge to find a good REITs before you are investing. But I has been this industry for many years, so that's why we know what is the good REITs and what is the bad REITs. All right, so by looking at the name, we would be able to tell what are the REITs is considered a good REITs. Okay, like for example, some of the REITs that are quite good, okay, which I want to share with you. Let me see. All right. Okay, and the name is Kaplan Ascendas REITs. All right. Okay. Kaplan Ascendas REITs. Okay. All right. So if you look at the chart, right, it's quite volatile, but in fact, you know, it is one of the, you know, best REITs in Singapore. So they are giving around, you know, right now it's around 5% dividend yield. Okay. So interestingly, all right, if you look at the what we call that, the chart, right, okay, it's quite volatile, but usually, as a investor, if you are looking for a dividends, my suggestion to you is that I usually apply this, you know, trend line, okay, to identify when to enter. So usually for a dividend stock, I will wait for the price to pull back before I am buying. All right. So if you are asking me right now, okay, of course the price is already went up 啦，这样的情况其实这个股票已经涨了蛮多 ，all right， 所以我是不会去追高 ，OK， 虽然它有突破 ，OK，but I would still wait for the pullback. Okay, I will still wait for the pullback. So the purpose of this, you know, sharing is just to share with you that Singapore market currently is a very strong market, right? So most of the what we call that REITs, okay, good REITs, moving up, and then of course Singapore Bank also moving up, and that's why they push up the STI index. All right, and of course the next things that I want to share with you is this US market. Okay, so US markets also recently rebound, in fact strongly. All right, if you look at this S&P 500s, so this S&P 500s previously was having a big sell down. All right, 所以之前大跌是因为这个 Black Monday, okay? But after that, after that, the index rebound strongly until recently it pulled back, and of course, this few days it went up strongly as well. So next week, all right, is what we call that Federal Reserve is going to you know, announce their what we call that interest rate cut. Now this year I believe is a very special year because of the US elections, and I did mention, all right, if you have followed me long enough, okay, I did mention that 2024 is a bull run for a US stock market, but it doesn't mean that the stock price will go up in a straight line. So at certain point the price will pull back, okay, will pull back, just like, you know, what had happened in, you know, last month, okay, Black Monday. S&P 500 dropped around 10%, okay, but eventually it rebound. So when market is in the bull run, it is good, you know, for you to buy when every time it has pullback. But when I say bull run, okay, it is good to buy when it pull back. It's only apply for a good company, good quality company, and index fund like exchange traded fund, okay, S&P 500 exchange traded fund. You can actually do that, okay. When the market is in the bull run, okay, you can buy this exchange traded fund index like S&P 500 or maybe QQQ. So right now, okay, if you look at the chart, right, okay, it actually near to the resistance as well. So if you look at S&P 500, it actually near to the what we call that resistance. All right, so will we pull back? Okay, will you pull back? All right, so based on technical point of view, all right, usually, all right, it might pull back, all right, but that would depend on how strong the market is. Okay, because like what I mentioned, this year is a very special year. Okay, US elections is going to happen in November. At the same time, okay, this September 18, US Federal Reserve is going to have the first rate cut. So we are not sure, all right, how the market is going to react. Okay, there is a saying, if the Federal Reserve is cutting 50 point, okay, markets, okay, might rebound. Okay, but if in the event the Federal Reserve only cut 25 point, then market might pull back. So when Federal Reserve cut 25 point, this might disappoint, you know, the investor, right? So they might actually sell away the stock, right? So that is what I read. Okay, so that would depends on the 18 September. Okay, but by looking at the chart, okay, yep, the price is actually overbought. Okay, the price is actually overbought and hit the resistance. So a pullback or profit taking might happen. All right, so how deep is the profit taking? Okay, well, if you look at the chart, all right, so this is immediate support at 5,571. So if in the event, you know, the price pullback or profit taking, the first support level maybe at this 5,570 point, right? 所以这个是 S&P 500 ，OK， 所以 S&P 500的话，其实你可以看到这个蓝色线 ，OK， 所以这个蓝色线的话，其实是个主力来的 ，right， 主力，所以刚好昨天它闭市的时候 ，OK， 它其实是有动到这个主力 ，right， 所以接下来 Monday 的话，就是下个星期一，它会不会跌回，或者是会不会有一个逃离的现象 ，OK， 我们还不确定，因为到目前为止来说，我们可以发觉到这个美国股市这几天是很强势 ，OK， 虽然之前有讲到就是说以这个历史性的数据来看9月跟10月份是不好的月份对于这个美国股市来说，但是今年的话会比较特别，有可能会不一样 OK， 刚才有说过，就是这个美国大选或者是这一次9月份就是美联储是第一次就是降息这个利率所以有可能是不一样的状况 Alright, so this is S&P 500 and then followed by this what we call that Nasdaq, okay, so Nasdaq components 的话其实也是动到这个主力 Alright, so Nasdaq components 就是这个美国科技板块的指数，所以美国科技板块的指数的话，最近也是涨回来。所以涨回来的话，如果我是以这个price actions 的角度来看的话，它也是动到这个阻力了。所以这个阻力的话，会不会突破，我们就要看 Monday。OK，Monday 的话，其实我们要看它的状况。如果它突破的话 ，OK， 那是一件好事。Alright。突破过后有可能也是会回调，然后再涨回去也是有可能。So there are many scenario, alright. So but what I can say right now is that this few days US market is pretty strong. It actually push up the price, and then of course what are the stock that actually contributing to this push up, contributing to this index, I believe is US semiconductor, So if you look at semiconductor, Nvidia stocks, so Nvidia stock is actually rebound, okay, strongly. All right, so rebound strongly recently, and it actually contributing to these Nasdaq components. So this is the most popular stocks that I believe everyone are looking at, especially people who are investing in the US markets, right? So if you look at our NDU system, there was a bottom signal. All right, so this is crucial. It actually help investor who have the system to alert them there was a bottom signal for investor who like to pick up near the bottom. All right, so why this bottom signal is important? Because if we look back based on the historical data, each time when there was a bottom signal appear, there is a high chance for the price to rebound. All right, there's a high chance for the stock price to rebound. Okay, so we did mention this to our client, friends, and students when the bottom signal was appear. Okay, so I believe, okay, some of the student or some of our client bought at this level of price. But of course, nothing is 100%. What I mean is that we don't go in with a very big positions at this point of time. All right, but what we normally do is that we want to have a very good risk management, so that we can prepare in the event market turn against us. So usually the way that I do is that I will accumulate slowly. All right, so that in the event if market turn against us, we still have some bullet to accumulate if there is a signal that show on the NDU system. All right, so Nvidia, all right, still look good. Okay, just be what we call that, alerted that the resistance is somewhere around this what we call that blue color line. Okay, so this is based on the price action strategy. So the way that I do, I like to combine both NDU system together with the price actions strategy, so that it give me more confidence in my decision. So that is my way of investing and trading. So Nvidia, beside Nvidia, Meta is also one of my favorites. All right, so if you look at Meta, the price actually move in a sideway. All right, so the price actually move in a sideway, and in fact the sell down recently is actually quite healthy. It doesn't really drop as aggressive as compared to other lousy stocks. Of course, Meta is one of the good quality stocks. So if you look at the chart, it look like volatile. Okay, but however, recently there was also bottom signal. Okay, so this bottom signal is actually helped me, all right, to identify when is the best entry point. Okay, so if you are looking for a mid-term trade or short-term trade, so this signal is is a good signal that we can accumulate the stocks when there's a signal pop up like bottom master. So of course, if you look at the chart, okay, long term is still uptrend, right? Long term is still uptrend. So when the price already went up, okay, it become so challenging because it doesn't really drop much. Okay, but some people have not buy this stock yet, so they are trying to find when is the best time to buy. So if you have the system, of course, I would say when is the best time to buy is when the bottom signal was pop up. But if you don't have a signal, you might have no idea when to buy lah. Okay, so it's like, for example, going to the war, okay, without any weapon, of course you will lose out. So this is Meta, and another stock is Apple, AAPL. Right, AAPL. So AAPL, which is quite strong as well. Okay, so support level is 216.80 cent. Right, so the price didn't drop much as well. Just you know, my previous drawing. Of course, if you ask me, I would prefer the price to drop further so that I can accumulate more. All right, so this is just my simulations. Okay, but however, it didn't happen now. So if you look at the price closely, all right, it does rebound slowly. Okay, and the next resistance, I would say, is based on this you know, blue color line. 所以这个是 Apple 股票 ，Apple 股票其实它没有跌很多，所以意思是说它是一个蛮强的股票。OK， 虽然大盘有跌，但是Apple 它跌的时候，它没有跌到这个很严重的状况哦，它只是跌稍微跌多少哦，我们可以看一下，之前差不多跌了差不多6.38%而已哦，这个是我们可以接受的这个 level 了 ，alright， so this is the stock that I believe must have in our portfolio, okay, beside Nvidia and Meta, so Apple as well. So these three stock I believe that we must have in our portfolio. All right, so today you know it's just sharing about US market and the Singapore market, and I just started this YouTube live, so I hope for your what we call that support. So if you like this sharing, please help me to like my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button, so that you know, it will help me you know, to all encourage me to do more like this sharing through the YouTube channel. And of course I also you know, would like you to share this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, with your friend and family members, or your friends who are investing in the stock markets, because beside this sharing, I also have my weekly webinar whereby I will go you know, talk about more detail about stock investment, and then analyze the individual stock through my webinars. So if you follow my channel, you get invited, all right, so that you can learn more about the stock investment. So with that, okay, I thank you for your time, okay, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.